Connor Blake was staring at his computer screen. It read, "Mountain cabin for sale in Colorado." The results were loading. Slowly. The internet connection was weak. He was sitting in his small apartment in Denver. 2 rooms. Dark. Quiet. He had been living here for 2 years. Ever since Sarah died. Car accident. Drunk driver. 1 second. His life changed. Connor was 40, but he felt old now. 12 years as a SEAL. Afghanistan. Iraq. Operations. Wars. Then, he retired. Married Sarah. They lived happily for 3 years. Then, the accident. Now, Connor was alone. But he had Ranger, an 8-year-old Belgian Malinois, Connor's former canine partner, from Afghanistan. 2015-2018. 3 years. Bomb detection, tracking, war. They both retired. They both loved Sarah. They both lost her. Now it was just the 2 of them. The computer showed the results. Dozens of kennels. Expensive. Connor had no money. Sarah's medical bills, the funeral, debts. It was all gone. Now there was only $3,000 in the bank account. The last money. Connor scrolled down, looking for the cheapest listings. Then he saw something. Urgent sale, mountain cabin, Rocky Mountains, isolated, 2 bedrooms, $500 as is. Warning, locals call it cursed, at your own risk. Connor clicked on the listing. There were photos. Old wooden cabin on the mountainside. Pine forests, isolated. Nearest neighbor 15 kilometers away. It was beautiful, but old. Cracks in the windows, moss on the door, holes in the roof. Connor read the description. This cabin was built in 1985. 5 families have moved in since 1987. None stayed longer than 6 months. They all mentioned noises, ghosts, and eerie feelings. The locals believe it's cursed. It's been empty for the last 10 years. I want to sell it, but no one wants it. Why haven't they sold such a house that everyone wants? Did the house just look mysterious and scary from the outside and take on that identity? Or was there really something wrong with this house? We'll understand this more clearly as the story continues. But first, focus on this part. $500. Please call if you're serious. Okay, if a cabin is called Haunted and is for sale for $500, would you buy it? Connor did. Because he had no money. Because he had no choice. But he didn't know that in that cabin, 6 SEALs had died 36 years ago, and their radios were still broadcasting Mayday. Connor saw the phone number. Tom Henderson, real estate agent. Connor thought, cursed? Nonsense. Ghosts don't exist. Old buildings make noises. Wind. Animals. Normal. Connor picked up the phone. He dialed. It rang 3 times. An old man answered. Tom Henderson Realty. Hello, Mr. Henderson. I'm Connor Blake. I saw the listing for the mountain cabin. $500. Tom fell silent. Ah, that cabin. Are you serious? Connor replied, yes, I want to see it. Tom hesitated. Mr. Blake, I have to be honest. That cabin, that place is strange. People are scared. I went myself. At night. I heard noises. I couldn't explain them. Connor wasn't fazed. I'm a retired soldier. I'm not afraid of noises. Tom took a breath. Okay. When can you come? Tomorrow, afternoon. All right, I'll send you the coordinates. GPS doesn't work there. Use a map. The next day, Connor hit the road. Old Jeep, 2010 model. Ranger in the back seat. Head out the window. Wind. He was happy. They left Denver. They drove west, toward the mountains. 3 hours. The road narrowed. The asphalt ended. Dirt road, potholes, rocks. The Jeep struggled, but kept going. Finally, they reached the coordinates. Forest, dense, dark. The sun barely filtered through the trees. There was a path. Connor got out. Ranger too. They walked. 10 minutes. Then they saw the cabin. It was worse than the photos. The wood was rotten. The roof seemed to be collapsing. The door was half open, but it was still standing. Connor approached. A pickup truck was visible. Tom was there. 65 years old. Fat. Gray beard, sweaty. He relaxed when he saw Connor. "Mr. Blake, you're here. Good." Connor shook his hand. "Yes, can I see the cabin?" Tom hesitated. "Of course, but I'm not going inside. I'll wait outside." Connor frowned. "Why?" Tom swallowed. Because last time I heard noises, and I saw something. A shadow, but there was no one there." Connor shook his head. "Okay, I'll go in. Ranger, come with me." Tom relaxed. "Be careful, the floor might be rotten." Connor went inside. He pushed the door. It creaked. It was dark inside. Dust, cobwebs, old furniture, a couch, a table, chairs, all rotten. But the structure was sound. Connor shone his flashlight around. Living room, kitchen in the corner, stove old, sink rusty, but functional. There was a hallway, 2 rooms. Connor looked. First room small, a bed frame, an old mattress, musty. The second room was larger. The window was broken. Wind was blowing in. Connor turned back. Ranger was following him. But he stopped somewhere, in the corner of the kitchen. He barked. Connor approached. "What is it, Ranger?" Ranger pawed at the floor. Connor bent down. He looked. The floorboards were loose. Connor lifted one. There was a dark void underneath. A basement. Connor shone his flashlight down. There were stairs. Wooden. Old. Connor called out to Tom. "Mr. Henderson, there's a basement here." Tom answered from outside. "Yes, but don't go down there. The noises are coming from there." Connor didn't care. He went down the stairs. Ranger followed. Carefully. The steps creaked. Downstairs was a small room. The ceiling was low. Concrete walls. A damp smell. Old boxes in the corner. Trash. But Connor saw something else. A large steel safe on the wall. 2 meters high. Thick. Military-looking. Old but sturdy. Faded writing on it. U.S. Navy. Classified. 1987. Connor was surprised. A military safe? Why was it here? He approached the safe. It was locked. An electronic lock. But it wasn't working. There was no electricity. Connor pressed his ear against the safe. Silence. No. Wait. A very faint sound. A hiss. A ticking. As if something was inside. Ranger barked at the safe. Aggressively. As if he sensed danger. Connor calmed him down. "Calm down, Ranger. It's just old equipment." But Connor was uneasy too. What was this safe doing here? Connor went upstairs. He asked Tom. "Mr. Henderson, do you know about this safe?" Tom nodded. "Yes. I saw it the first time. But I couldn't open it. And those sounds were coming from the safe. Like a radio. Static. Sometimes voices. Indistinct." Connor thought. Could be old military equipment. Maybe a radio system. Still transmitting. Tom shuddered. "Maybe. But I don't like that place." Connor walked around the cabin again. He went outside. He surveyed the surroundings. It was beautiful. Mountains. Forest. Peace. Sarah sniffed the air. Connor made up his mind. I'll take it. Tom was surprised. Really? You're not scared of the noises? Connor shook his head. I've heard worse noises in combat. This cabin is just old. I'll fix it up. Tom relaxed. Okay, I brought the paperwork. Sign here. Connor paid $500, cash, his last money. But he didn't care. Now, he had a home. Tom left, quickly, as if he were running away. Connor and Ranger were left alone. Connor looked at the cabin. Ranger, this is our new home. What do you think? Ranger wagged his tail. That night, Connor stayed in the cabin. Sleeping bag, lantern, Ranger by his side. Silence. Just the wind. The creaking of trees, owl sounds, normal forest sounds. Connor closed his eyes. Maybe he would find peace here. But at midnight, a sound woke him, a rustling. From below, from the basement. Connor stood up. He listened. The sound came again. Static. Then voices. Human voices. Far away. Unintelligible. Ranger barked. Connor grabbed the flashlight. The basement stairs. He descended carefully. The sound became clearer. It was coming from the safe. Connor approached the safe. He pressed his ear against it. Static. Then a sentence. Broken. In the position compromised, enemy, no escape. Froze. It was a radio transmission. Old. Very old. But it was still broadcasting. How? Connor examined the safe. He tried to force the lock, but it was too strong. He needed tools. In the morning, Connor drove into town. Hardware store. Saw. Crowbar. Hammer. Welding machine. He got it all. He returned. He worked on the safe all day. He cut the lock. He pried at the hinges. Evening came. Finally, one corner gave way. Connor pushed with the crowbar. The metal creaked. The safe slowly opened. It was dark inside. Connor shone his flashlight inside, and what he saw froze his blood. He was practically frozen in place by what he saw. He hadn't expected to find anything like this, and what he found could be called a major breakthrough. And before we get to what he found, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, because inside, there were top-secret files. 1987. 6 SEALs. 6 K-9s. Mission failure. All personnel lost. But Connor knew this wasn't a loss. This was murder. And someone had kept it hidden for 36 years. There were files. Military files. Dozens of them. Stamped. Top secret. Classified. Eyes only. Connor picked up a file. He opened it. The first page. Operation Silent Mountain. Date: January to November 1987. Classification: Top Secret. Objective: Soviet Nuclear Facility Reconnaissance. Team: 6 Navy SEALs. Status: Mission failure. All personnel lost. Connor turned the page. There was a team photo. 6 men. SEAL uniforms. Young. Serious. 6 dogs beside them. Military K-9s. Names below the photo. Lieutenant Commander James Mitchell. Senior Chief Robert Hayes. Chief Petty Officer Daniel Morgan. Petty Officer First Class Kyle Turner. Petty Officer Second Class Marcus Webb. Petty Officer Third Class Eric Stone. 6 SEALs. Connor looked at other files. Reports. Maps. Coordinates. Rocky Mountains, Colorado, near the Soviet border during the Cold War. 1987. The SEAL team was on a covert mission to locate a Soviet nuclear facility. But something went wrong. Connor found the final report. November 15th, 1987. Mission compromised. Position leaked. Soviet Special Forces inbound. No extraction available. K-9s released to wilderness. Personnel preparing final stand. This may be last transmission. There was nothing after that. Connor found something else. A diary. Handwritten. The last entry. November 15th, 1987, 2200 hours. Actually, this date was written with a mysterious intent. It wasn't a date randomly made up on a whim. I'll explain the mystery of this writing in the story I'll tell you shortly. But first, let's briefly emphasize this important event again. Betrayal. Someone leaked our coordinates. And Lieutenant Commander James Mitchell knew as he wrote those words. This is his final entry. November 15th, 1987, 10 p.m. 6 SEALs were trapped. The Soviet Special Forces were coming. There was no escape. And someone had sold them out. From the inside. Betrayal. The Soviet Special Forces are coming. We're trapped. In this cabin. Radio dead. No help coming. We are 6 SEALs. We will fight. But we know there is no escape. We release the K-9s. Echo, Shadow, Maverick, Blaze, Titan, Ghost. Maybe they'll survive. Do you remember the other K-9s? Rex, Duke, Bella, Shadow, Zeus. They all lost their handlers. Titan lost David. He waited 30 years in a cage. Ghost is here. He lost James. He disappeared into the forest for 36 years. Ranger lost Sarah. He mourned for 2 years. Maverick, David's dog, disappeared 13 years ago. All the K-9s lost someone, but none of them forgot. Maybe someone will find them and learn the truth. If you're reading these files, please tell the world. We died here, but we weren't traitors. We were heroes, and someone betrayed us. Lieutenant Commander James Mitchell. Connor's hands trembled. 6 SEALs, 1987. Here, in this cabin, they died, and no one knew. What did the official records say? Connor opened his computer. He searched for Navy SEAL missing 1987. He found a result, a news article. November 20th, 1987. 6 Navy SEALs missing in Colorado helicopter crash. 5 days ago, 6 Navy SEAL soldiers and 6 military dogs went missing during a training operation in Colorado. According to official sources, their helicopter crashed due to bad weather. Search and rescue efforts were conducted, but the bodies were not found. The team is considered missing. Connor found other articles. All told the same story. Helicopter crash, missing, no bodies. But Connor now knew the truth. There was no helicopter crash. They were in this cabin, on a secret mission. Someone betrayed them. A Soviet Special Forces team came. 6 SEALs died, and the Pentagon covered it up. Why? Connor found something else in the safe. A radio system. Old, but it still worked. Solar-powered, automatic. It kept broadcasting the last SEAL message for 36 years. Position compromised. Enemy approaching. No escape. So what does it mean when a radio transmits a Mayday signal for 36 years? 6 SEALs died in 1987. But their last message kept broadcasting until 2023. 13,140 days. Every day, every night. Help us. But no one came. That's why people heard voices. That's why they called it cursed. But it wasn't a ghost. It was the final cry of those 6 dead SEALs. And imagine hearing that. Hearing the cry of people who are unclear and constantly seeking help, constantly begging for it. And because you don't know the full story, you can't say anything to anyone or give anyone a clear answer. It must have been exhausting and terrifying. Connor picked up the phone. He should have called the FBI. But who could he trust? If the Pentagon covered it up, Connor searched for a name. FBI Cold Case Unit, Washington. He called. FBI Cold Case Unit, Agent Maria Santos. A woman's voice, serious. My name is Connor Blake, retired Navy SEAL. I found something in Colorado. 6 missing SEALs from 1987. Files, evidence, covert operation. Santos fell silent. Mr. Blake, this is very serious. Do you have evidence? Yes, files, logs, radio logs, everything. Where are you? Connor gave the address. Santos, can I come tomorrow? Yes, please come. That night, Connor couldn't sleep. He read the files, every report, every note. 6 SEALs, all young, all talented, all dead. And no one knew the truth. Ranger was lying next to him, but he was awake, seemed restless. Connor looked at him. Ranger, something happened here. Bad things. And we're going to find out the truth. The next afternoon, a black SUV pulled up. FBI. Agent Maria Santos got out. Mid-40s, short brown hair, serious face, sporty. 2 male agents with her. Connor greeted them. Agent Santos? Maria extended her hand. Yes, Mr. Blake? Connor shook it. Yes, come in. He led them to the cabin, to the basement. Maria saw the safe. Open. The files inside. She stopped. My God, she called her team. Photograph everything. Catalog it. The agents began working. Maria examined the files. Operation Silent Mountain, 1987. I've never heard of this operation. Connor explained. Because it's classified. Top secret. Probably still classified in Pentagon records. Maria read the log. James Mitchell's last words. Betrayal. The coordinates were leaked. Maria looked up. Inside job. Someone gave the Soviets the location of these SEALs. Connor nodded. Yes, but who? Maria examined the radio system. It's still working. 36 years. Solar panel system. Automatic broadcast. Incredible. Connor, that's why people heard voices. That's why they called it cursed. But it wasn't a ghost. It was a real Mayday call. Maria took out her phone. She called the Pentagon. Long conversation. 20 minutes. Then she hung up. Her face was dark. Connor, Mr. Blake, I checked the Pentagon records. There is an Operation Silent Mountain. But access is restricted. All I learned is this. The official report says helicopter crash. November 18th, 1987. 6 SEALs missing. Bodies never found. The case was closed in 1988. The families were told it was a training accident. Connor was furious. Lies. They were here, in this cabin. They fought. They died. And the Pentagon lied. Maria shook her head. Yes, but why? Why did they cover it up? Connor thought. Because treason is scandalous. It was the Cold War. If someone on the inside was working for the Soviets, that's a national security crisis. The Pentagon covered it up. They investigated quietly, but they never disclosed it. So if the government covers up the deaths of 6 SEALs, what does that mean? Treason, conspiracy. And the families believed for 36 years it was a helicopter crash. But the truth was different. 6 SEALs died here, fighting, and the Pentagon lied. Maria found something else in the files. And what she found in that file was actually information that would solve this whole mystery, that would bring this whole secret to light. Because what she found in that file was a very important discovery that would reveal the true identities and secrets of the entire SEAL team, the support team. Look, personnel list, those involved in the operation, SEAL team, support team, and a CIA liaison. Name, Yuri Petrov. Connor was surprised. Yuri Petrov? A Russian name? Maria nodded. Yes, but it says here, CIA asset, former Soviet defector, liaison for intelligence coordination. Connor understood. Yuri was a Soviet defector. He worked for the CIA, but maybe he was still working for the Soviets, a double agent. Maria took note. Yuri Petrov, I need to look into him. One of the agents reported. Agent Santos, we found something else in the basement. Bloodstains, on the wall. Very old, but still analyzable. Maria looked. Bloodstains. Brown. Faded. But they were there. Get a DNA sample. Maybe it belongs to one of the 6 SEALs. Connor saw something else in the corner. Bullet holes in the wall. 5, 6, 7. There was a fight here. The SEALs fought here. Maria nodded. Yes. And they lost. The team worked all day. They collected everything. Files, radios, blood samples. Evening fell. Maria turned to Connor. Connor, I have to go back to Washington. I have to present these files to the director. But you're not safe here. Connor frowned. Why? Maria looked serious. Because if Yuri Petrov is still alive, and if he told his family this secret, they won't want these files found. You're a target. Connor shook his head. I'll take the risk. I'm a SEAL. Danger doesn't scare me. Maria warned him. Fine, but be careful. Carry a weapon. Keep the ranger with you. If anything happens, call me immediately. Maria and the team left. Connor was alone, with the ranger. That night, Connor couldn't sleep. He thought about Yuri Petrov. If he was a traitor, if he betrayed those 6 SEALs, where was he now? Connor turned on his computer. He searched for Yuri Petrov, CIA, 1987. No results. Highly classified. Connor tried something else. Yuri Petrov, Soviet defector, 1980s. He found an article. Small. 1985. Soviet intelligence officer escapes to America. Yuri Petrov, KGB member, sought refuge with the CIA. Granted political asylum. Location undisclosed. Connor searched for another article. Nothing. Yuri was like a ghost. But Connor tried another idea. Petrov defector death. He found an obituary. 1999. Yuri Petrov, 62, died of a heart attack. Denver, Colorado. Survived by his wife Natasha and son Dmitri Petrov. Connor froze. Denver. Yuri lived here, and he had a son, Dmitri Petrov. Connor searched for Dmitri Petrov, Denver. Results came up. A profile. LinkedIn. Dmitri Petrov, 52 years old, import-export consultant, based in Denver. Connor looked at the photo. Dmitri was middle-aged, short black hair, stern face, Russian features. Connor researched further. Dmitri's work address, an office, downtown Denver. Connor took note. He would visit tomorrow, but he had to be careful. If Dmitri knew his father's secret, it was dangerous. In the morning, Connor drove to Denver. To Dmitri's office. A skyscraper. 12th floor. Petrov Import-Export Consulting. Connor went inside. There was a reception desk. A young woman. "Hello, how can I help you?" Connor. "I want to see Dmitri Petrov." Woman. "Do you have an appointment?" "No. But it's urgent. About his father, Yuri." The woman paused. 1 moment. She made a call. Talked for 2 minutes. Hung up. "Mr. Petrov will see you. Please wait." 10 minutes later, a door opened. Dmitri emerged. Tall. Broad shoulders. Cold eyes. He looked at Connor. "Who are you?" Connor stood up. "I'm Connor Blake, retired Navy SEAL. I want to talk to you. About your father." Dmitri's face didn't change. "Come into my office." They went inside. Luxurious office. A large desk. A view of the city from the window. Dmitri sat down. "Sit down, Mr. Blake. What do you want to know about my father?" "He died in 1999. Connor sat down. "I know that. But I'm asking about his activities in 1987. Operation Silent Mountain." Dmitri froze. His expression changed. His eyes narrowed. "Where did you hear that name?" Connor spoke carefully. "I bought a cabin in the Rocky Mountains. I found secret files there from 1987. 6 SEALs went missing. Your father was the CIA liaison on the operation." Dmitri stood up. He walked to the window. His back was turned. He was silent. Connor waited. Finally, Dmitri spoke. "Mr. Blake, you found something dangerous. You should drop it." Connor. "Why?" Dmitri turned. His face was in shadow. "Because some secrets should stay buried. My father is dead. The past is the past. To open this, it only brings pain." Connor stood up. 6 SEALs died. Their families were lied to. They deserve justice. Dmitri approached. He lowered his voice. "Mr. Blake, my father made a mistake. He was a young man. He escaped the KGB, came to America, worked for the CIA. But the old ties didn't break. The KGB reached him. In 1987, they threatened him. "We'll kill your family," they said. My father was weak. He gave them the SEAL team's coordinates. The Soviet Special Forces killed them. My father regretted it afterward, every day. When he died in 1999, he still regretted it. But it was too late. The SEALs were gone, and the Pentagon covered it up, quietly. My father was never tried, because the scandal was too big. The Cold War, the CIA's reputation, everything was kept secret. Connor couldn't believe it. "So you knew, and you never said anything?" Dmitri nodded. "Yes. My father told me before he died, 'Dmitri, I did a terrible thing. 6 men died because of me. But please, please don't tell anyone. If you do, our family name will be ruined.' I promised, and I kept my word." For 25 years, Connor was furious. 6 SEALs died. You had no right to silence them. Dmitri hardened. "Mr. Blake, I'll tell you something. If you open the story, if the FBI publishes it, they'll only blame a dead man, my father. But he's already dead. There will be no justice, only scandal. My father's name will be ruined. My family will be ruined. And you gain nothing." Connor stepped closer. "I gain. I honor 6 SEALs. I tell their families the truth. That's enough." Dmitri looked cold. "Fine, Mr. Blake. You've been warned. If you continue, I'll do everything to stop you." Connor didn't back down. "Is that a threat?" Dmitri smiled, but his eyes were cold. "No, just a warning." Connor left. The office, the building. Got in the car. Ranger was waiting. Connor looked at him. "Ranger, Dmitri is dangerous. He wants to protect his father's secret. He could do something against us." Connor called Maria Santos. Agent Santos, I spoke with Dmitri Petrov, Yuri's son. He knows everything. His father betrayed 6 SEALs, under KGB threat. Dmitri warned me. Don't continue, he said. Maria was serious. Connor, you're not safe. Do you want protection? Connor, no, I can protect myself. But Dmitri is planning something. I can feel it. Maria, okay, I'll open a file on Dmitri. We'll keep an eye on him. You be careful. That night, Connor returned to the cabin, but he sensed something. Wrong. Ranger 2. He was restless, barking. Connor grabbed his gun, a Glock 19. He went outside. He scanned the forest. Flashlight. Silence. But then he saw something. Movement among the trees. A shadow. Connor raised his gun. Who's there? Silence. Then a figure emerged. A man. Masked. Black clothes. Gun in his hand. Connor fired. 2 shots. The man fell to the ground. Ranger ran. Barked. Connor approached. Carefully. The man was on the ground. Motionless. Dead? Connor bent down. Removed his mask. Didn't recognize him. In his 30s. Slavic features. Connor checked the man's pockets. Found a phone. Messages. In Russian. Connor used a translator. Last message. Target in the cabin. Take the files. Eliminate the witnesses. DP. DP, Dmitri Petrov. Connor called Maria. Agent Santos, I was attacked. 1 man. Dead. Dmitri sent him. There are messages. Maria. Oh my God. Connor, the FBI team is on its way. Stay where you are. Don't touch anything. Half an hour later, the FBI arrived. 3 vehicles. The team examined the body. They took the phone. Maria spoke with Connor. Connor, this man is Dmitri's man, a mercenary with Russian connections. Dmitri tried to have you killed. Connor nodded. Yes, he wants to protect the secret. Maria, now we have evidence to arrest Dmitri. Conspiracy, attempted murder. Operation tomorrow morning. Connor, I'm coming too. Maria hesitated. Then she nodded. Okay, but if it turns violent, you back off. Deal? Connor smiled. Deal. The next morning, the FBI raided Dmitri's office. 6 agents, guns drawn. Connor waited outside. The FBI went in. FBI, hands up! Shouting. Then silence. Maria came out. Dmitri escaped. The office is empty. Staff said he left last night. He said it was urgent travel. Connor, where? Maria, we don't know, but we're checking passport control. 2 hours later, the results came in. Dmitri flew to Russia on a private jet last night. He's there now. Maria called Connor. Connor, Dmitri is in Russia. The State Department wants Russia to extradite him for arrest. But Russia will probably refuse. Connor was furious. So he got away. There's no justice. Maria, Connor, we can still open the 6 SEAL files. The Pentagon will launch an investigation. The truth will come out. It's a victory. Connor shook his head. Yes, but Dmitri is free. That's not justice. 2 weeks passed. The FBI launched an investigation. The Pentagon opened its records. The Operation Silent Mountain file was declassified. The media picked up the story. 36-year-old CIA Navy SEAL scandal exposed. 6 SEALs fall victim to Soviet spies' betrayal. Yuri Petrov, double agent, duped the Pentagon. It was everywhere. CNN, Fox News, The New York Times. Connor did interviews, but he only said one thing. 6 SEALs died here. James Mitchell, Robert Hayes, Daniel Morgan, Kyle Turner, Marcus Webb, Eric Stone. They were heroes, and the truth was kept secret for 36 years. Now the world knows. The Pentagon held a press conference. The Secretary of Defense spoke. In 1987, a terrible betrayal occurred. 6 Navy SEALs fell into an ambush by a Soviet Special Forces team. A CIA asset, Yuri Petrov, betrayed them. We investigated at the time, but classified the results. That was a mistake. The families deserve to know the truth. Today we apologize, and we are posthumously honoring the 6 SEALs. But Connor wanted to know something. Where were the bodies? James Mitchell had written in his diary, "We released the canines." But the SEALs themselves? Where did they die? There were bloodstains in the cabin, but no bodies. Connor called Maria. "Agent Santos, where are the SEALs' bodies? If they died in the cabin, the bodies should be there." Maria fell silent. "Connor, I thought that too. Maybe the Soviet team took the bodies to destroy the evidence." Connor shook his head. "No, too risky. 6 bodies to carry. Long way. They would have heard the helicopter. I think the Soviets buried them somewhere nearby, close to the cabin." Maria: "But where? The mountains are vast. Thousands of square kilometers." Connor reread the log. The last coordinates. James Mitchell had written them. 40.2156 degrees north, 105.8372 degrees west. Connor entered them into the GPS. They were the cabin's coordinates. But there was another note on the last line. Faded. Connor looked closely. Plus 3 kilometers N, 200 meters elevate. Connor understood. 3 kilometers north, 200 meters elevation. Mitchell had coded the final coordinates. Maybe he knew the Soviets would kill him. But he left a clue. Connor called Maria. "Agent Santos, I found something. Coded coordinates in the diary. Mitchell may have marked his final location." "Maria, what do you mean?" Connor explained. Plus 3 kilometers N, 200 meters elevate. I think that's where the bodies are buried." Maria: "Connor, that's just speculation. But we have to try. I can send the forensic team. Tomorrow, we can search with ground-penetrating radar." Connor: "I'm coming too." The next day, the FBI team arrived. 4 agents, 2 forensic experts, radar equipment. Connor and the ranger joined them. They walked 3 kilometers north from the cabin. Rugged terrain, rocks, pine trees. They gained 200 meters in elevation. Finally, they reached a flat area, a small valley, surrounded by trees, hidden. Maria surveyed the area. "This is a perfect burial spot, hidden. No one would see it." The forensic team set up the radar. They scanned the ground, slowly, meter by meter. 2 hours, then a signal. "Agent Santos, there's an anomaly here. 2 meters deep, large, could be 6 bodies." Maria: "Dig." The team started digging with shovels. Connor helped too. The ranger watched from the edge. 1 meter, 2 meters. Then they found something. Fabric, decayed, old, a military uniform. The forensic expert carefully cleaned it. Bones appeared. Human bones. Human remains. A body. Connor bent down. There was a name tag on the uniform. Worn but legible. LT-CDR-J. Mitchell. Connor's breath caught. James Mitchell, team leader. Maria bowed her head. "We found him." The team continued digging. More bodies. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 6 skeletons, side by side, in a shallow grave. Maria: "6 SEALs, all of them here." Connor knelt. He clasped his hands together. "James, Robert, Daniel, Kyle, Marcus, Eric. You've been here for 36 years, but now you're going home." The forensic team carefully removed each skeleton. They took DNA samples. They photographed them. They cataloged everything. Evening fell. The bodies were placed in special bags. They were loaded onto the FBI truck. Maria turned to Connor. Connor, you found them. You brought them justice. The families are grateful to you. Connor nodded. I just did what was right. But Ranger was still pacing in the valley. He was sniffing something. He was restless. Connor looked at him. Ranger, what is it? Ranger ran into the woods. He barked. Connor followed him. Ranger, stop! But Ranger didn't stop. He went between the trees. Connie followed him with his flashlight. 50 meters. 100 meters. Then Ranger stopped. Next to a rock. He kept barking. Connor approached. He looked. Behind the rock was a small cave. Natural. Narrow entrance. Connor shone his flashlight inside. Dark. But he saw something. Movement. Connor backed away. Who's there? A growl. Deep. An animal sound. Connor drew his gun. He entered cautiously. The cave was small. The inside was damp. There was something in the corner. Large. Furry. Connor pointed his flashlight, and what he saw was incredible. A dog. But not a normal dog. Very large. Wolf-sized. Long fur. Wild. Eyes fierce, but old. Moving slowly. Connor looked closer. There was something around the dog's neck. An old collar. Metal. Rusted. Connor bent down. He examined the collar. There was a dog tag on it. Broken, but readable. MWD Echo. K9 412. U.S. Navy SEAL. 1987. Connor froze. Echo. Mitchell had written in his journal. We released the K9s. Echo, Shadow, Maverick, Blaze, Titan, Ghost. Echo was released in 1987. 36 years ago. This dog couldn't be that old. But wait. Connor examined the dog again. It wasn't young, but it wasn't 36 years old either. Maybe 10 to 12 years old. Connor understood. This wasn't Echo. This was Echo's descendant. Echo had survived in the wild. It had bred. Probably with wolves. The generations had continued, and this dog could be Echo's grandchild. Connor slowly reached out his hand. Calm down, boy. I won't hurt you. The dog growled, but it didn't attack. It was too weak, injured, an old wound on its leg. Connor backed away. He called Maria. Agent Santos, come here, quickly. I found something important. Maria and the team arrived. They saw the cave. The dog. Maria couldn't believe it. Is this a K9? Connor showed her the dog tag. Echo, from 1987. But this isn't the original Echo. This is his descendant. The line continued. The forensic expert approached. We can take a DNA sample. If this is really Echo's descendant, that's incredible. They survived 36 years in the wild. Connor, this dog is sick, injured. We need to take him. Maria, but he's wild. He could be dangerous. Connor shook his head. I'm a former canine handler. I can try. Connor slowly approached the dog. He knelt down, reached out his hand. Kid, I'm your friend. I'm gonna help you. The dog watched Connor, suspiciously. But then something happened. Ranger approached, slowly. Didn't growl, just sniffed. Two dogs, eye to eye. Silence. Then the wild dog slowly sniffed Ranger's head. Ranger responded. A bond. Two canines. Different generations, but the same origin. The wild dog relaxed. Connor petted him. Good boy. You're safe now. Connor picked up the dog. He was heavy. Maybe 40 pounds, but very thin. They carried him outside, to camp. There was veterinary equipment. Maria called the vet. Doctor. Sarah Kim. Emergency. Wild canine. Injured. Colorado mountains. How soon can you be here? Dr. Kim, 2 hours. Send the coordinates. 2 hours later, Dr. Kim arrived. She examined the dog. This dog isn't very old, 10 to 12 years old, but malnourished, infection in the leg, but treatable. I need to take him to the clinic. Connor, I'm coming too. Dr. Kim loaded the dog into the ambulance. Connor and Ranger got in too. They drove to Denver, to the clinic. Dr. Kim started surgery immediately. He cleaned the infection in the leg. He gave him an IV. Antibiotics. The dog was sedated, relaxed. Connor watched. 3 hours later, the surgery was over. Dr. Kim came out. He'll survive, but recovery will take a long time. A few weeks. Connor, I'll take him home. I'll look after him. Dr. Kim nodded. Okay, but he's wild. He needs training, slowly. Connor smiled. I'm a SEAL. I'm patient. The dog stayed at the clinic for 3 days. Then Connor took him to the cabin. He gave him a name. Ghost. Because he was the grandson of a 36-year-old ghost. Taking care of Ghost was difficult. The first week he growled. He tried to escape. But Ranger helped him. The two dogs spent time together. Ghost slowly gained confidence. 2 weeks later, Ghost ate from Connor's hand. 3 weeks later, he slept beside Connor. A month later, Ghost was fully domesticated. But he still had wild instincts. He loved the forest. He loved to run. Connor took him for walks every day. Ranger came too. 3 beings. A family. Meanwhile, the FBI did a DNA test. Ghost's sample was compared to Echo's records from the 1987 files. The results came back. Maria called Connor. Connor, the DNA matches. Ghost is definitely Echo's descendant. Probably 3rd or 4th generation. This is incredible. 6 canines were released in 1987. They're probably all dead. But Echo survived. She reproduced, and the lineage continued for 36 years. Connor's eyes filled with tears. Echo survived. She completed her mission. She continued her lineage. And now Ghost is her legacy. Maria, Connor, the Pentagon heard about this. They want to honor Ghost. The funerals for the 6 SEALs are next month at Arlington. The Pentagon is inviting Ghost too. Symbolically. The last witness. Connor smiled. We'll be there. But one night, Connor noticed something strange. Ghost was going down to the basement. To the old safe. He was sitting there. For hours. Connor looked at him. Ghost! What are you doing? Ghost was looking at the safe, silently, as if listening. Connor understood. The radio system. It was still broadcasting. Mitchell's last message. Position compromised. Enemy approaching. No escape. Ghost could hear it. And it seemed like he was trying to respond. Connor leaned down. He stroked Ghost's head. Ghost, they're gone. 6 SEALs, your ancestors. But we found them. We're bringing them home. They don't need to broadcast anymore. Connor shut off the radio system. He removed the solar panel. The system died. For the first time in 36 years, silence. Ghost lifted his head. He looked at Connor, as if he understood. The mission was complete. Connor embraced Ghost. Come on, boy. Let's go up now. We don't need to stay here anymore. That night, Connor, Ranger, and Ghost slept together. 3 dogs, 1 human, 1 family. And for the first time in a long time, Connor felt at peace. He still missed Sarah. every day. But he wasn't alone anymore. He had 2 dogs and a purpose: to bring justice to the 6 SEALs, to bring them home, to honor them. The next morning, Connor received a message from Maria. "Connor, Dmitri Petrov made a statement from Russia. To the media. Did you read it?" Connor opened the news. Dmitri's photo. The headline: "Yuri Petrov's son confesses, 'My father was a traitor.'" Connor played the video. Dmitri sat in front of the camera. In Moscow. He looked tired. He spoke. "My name is Dmitri Petrov. I am Yuri Petrov's son. For 36 years, I kept a secret. My father betrayed 6 Navy SEALs in 1987. The KGB threatened to kill my family. My father was afraid. He gave them the coordinates. 6 SEALs died. My father regretted it, but he never confessed. When he died in 1999, he told me the secret. I protected him. But now enough is enough. Connor Blake uncovered the truth. I tried to stop him. I sent someone to kill him. That's a crime. I'm guilty. But I'm not running anymore. I'm returning from Russia to America. Voluntarily. I want to be tried. I want to serve my sentence. Because 6 SEALs deserve justice. And I can't carry my father's sin any longer. I'm sorry." The video ended. Connor couldn't believe it. Dmitri was coming back. Maria called. "Dmitri is flying to Denver tomorrow. The FBI will arrest him. He'll be tried for conspiracy and attempted murder." Connor. "Why did he come back?" Maria. "Maybe his conscience. Maybe he's trying to make up for his father's mistake." Connor shook his head. "Maybe, but it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the 6 SEALs. They're coming home." 2 weeks later, Arlington National Cemetery, Washington, D.C., a grand ceremony. 6 coffins, covered with American flags. Hundreds of people gathered. Families, SEALs, Pentagon officials, the press. Connor was there. Ranger and Ghost were beside him. 2 K9s, dressed in military vests. Honorable. The ceremony began. The military band played. Taps. A 21-gun salute. The Secretary of Defense spoke. "Today we honor 6 heroes. Lieutenant Commander James Mitchell, Senior Chief Robert Hayes, Chief Petty Officer Daniel Morgan, Petty Officer First Class Kyle Turner, Petty Officer Second Class Marcus Webb, Petty Officer Third Class Eric Stone. They served in 1987. They faced betrayal. They died. But they were not forgotten. 36 years later, the truth came out. Thanks to Connor Blake and Ghost Echo's grandson, the last witness. These heroes are home now. Welcome home, soldiers. Your duty is done." The coffins were lowered into the ground. 6 graves, side by side. Families wept. Connor too. Ranger and Ghost sat silently. Then something happened. Ghost stood up. He walked to the 6 graves. He went to each one. He laid his head on each coffin. A few seconds. Moved on to the next coffin. 6 times. As if saying goodbye. As if saying, "I couldn't forget you. My attacks didn't forget you. We waited 36 years, and now you are at peace." The hall was silent. Everyone watched Ghost. Many people cried. The ceremony ended. Connor remained at the graves. Ghost and Ranger were beside him. "James, Robert, Daniel, Kyle, Marcus, Eric, you are my brothers. I never knew you, but I learned your story. I saw your courage, and I will carry on your legacy. I promise." 6 months passed. Dmitri Petrov was tried. Federal Court, Denver. Conspiracy. Attempted murder. The jury returned its verdict. Guilty. 15 years in prison. Dmitri accepted his sentence silently. His final words: "I am paying for my father's sins. I want to serve the 6 SEALs, even in prison." Connor sat in the courtroom. He watched Dmitri. Guards led him away, handcuffed. But Dmitri looked at Connor, bowed his head, wanted to say sorry. Connor nodded, accepted. After the ceremony, Connor returned to the cabin, but he no longer saw it as the cursed cabin. It was a monument, the final battle site of the 6 SEALs. Connor made a decision. He would protect the cabin. He would restore it. He would turn it into a museum. Visitors would come. They would learn the story. Connor got to work. He repaired the roof. He replaced the windows. He painted the walls. He cleaned the basement. But he left the safe there, open, with the original files inside, for visitors to see. 2 months later, the museum was ready. It was named the Silent Mountain Memorial. Opening day arrived. 100 people gathered, veterans, SEAL families. James Mitchell's daughter was there, Lisa Mitchell. She was 45. She was 9 when her father died. Connor greeted her. "Mrs. Mitchell, welcome," Lisa cried. "Mr. Blake, Connor, thank you. For 36 years, I didn't know what my father was. They just said, helicopter crash. But you found the truth. My father was a hero. And now, everyone knows." Connor hugged her. "Your father was always a hero. I just found the proof." Lisa toured the museum. She saw the basement, the safe, the files, her father's diary. She read his last words: "Betrayal, but we will fight. We were heroes." Lisa fell to her knees. She cried. Connor sat down beside her. "Your father fought until the very end. He and his team made a last stand here. 6 SEALs, 6 heroes. None of them ran." Lisa lifted her head. "Connor, my dad had a dog. Echo. I remember him. Big, strong, loyal. My dad was very attached to him. What happened to Echo?" Connor smiled. "Echo survived. He was released. He survived in the wild. He bred. And I found his grandson, Ghost." Lisa was stunned. "Really?" Connor whistled. Ghost came running, strong, healthy. 6 months of good care had transformed him. Ghost sat down next to Connor. Lisa looked at him. He looks so much like Echo. Same eyes, same posture. Connor. Echo's lineage survived for 36 years. Ghost is his legacy. Just like you are your father's legacy. Lisa stroked Ghost. Ghost wagged his tail. Lisa cried. My father would be happy. Echo's lineage continues. The museum drew great interest. 5,000 visitors came in the first year. Each learned the story. 6 SEALs, a betrayal, a heroic SEAL finding the bodies, and a dog's 36-year miracle. The media came again. Documentaries were made. National Geographic, History Channel, Silent Mountain, the 36-year secret. Connor appeared in every documentary, but he never portrayed himself as the hero. I just did what was right. The real heroes are the 6 SEALs and Echo. He protected his family for 36 years. One day, Connor found a letter in his mailbox, handwritten, Russian stamps. He opened it. From Dmitri. Dear Connor, I'm in prison, Colorado. Every day I think about the 6 SEALs. Every night I think about my father. I am so sorry, but regret doesn't bring them back. I want to do something. I'm starting a program in prison for inmates. Canine training. We rescue abandoned dogs. The inmates train them. Then we give them to veterans for PTSD therapy. The program's name, Echo's Legacy. Echo's Legacy. Maybe it's a small thing, but maybe this cleanses my father's sin a little. I hope you approve. Dmitri. Connor's eyes filled with tears. Dmitri was changing. He was trying to right his father's wrong. Connor wrote back, Dmitri, Echo's Legacy is a great idea. I support it. Maybe I can help too. Canine Training Consultancy. From prison. We can talk. Connor. 2 months later, Connor visited Dmitri in prison. Glass partition, phones. Dmitri had grown thin, but there was peace in his eyes. Connor, you came. Thank you, Connor. Dmitri, I heard about the Echo's Legacy program. 4 dogs are already trained, given to veterans. That's great. Dmitri smiled. Yes, and the inmates are changing. Working with the dogs is healing them. It gives them purpose, just like it gave me. Connor. Dmitri, I want to tell you something. You're not responsible for your father. He made his own choices. But you chose your own path. You confessed. You came back. You accepted your punishment. That's courage. Dmitri bowed his head. Thank you, Connor. That means a lot. Connor, and one more thing. I want to show you Ghost. Connor gestured. The guard brought Ghost over. With special permission. Ghost came to Connor's side. Dmitri saw him through the glass. He stopped. Is he Echo's grandson? Connor nodded. Yes, Ghost. Echo's Legacy. Just like the program. Dmitri cried. He's beautiful. He's strong. Just like Echo. My father told me stories about Echo. He said, Echo was the most loyal dog. I betrayed her. I betrayed the seals. But Echo wouldn't have forgiven me. My father was right. But now I see Echo's lineage. And maybe one day, Echo's spirit will forgive me. Connor. Dmitri, forgiveness matters. But moving forward matters more. You're doing good things. Keep going. 2 years passed. Echo's legacy grew. 20 dogs were rescued, trained, given to veterans. Each one changed a life. Connor consulted for the program, went to prison once a week, worked with inmates, taught canine training. And Ghost was always by his side. When the inmates saw Ghost, they were inspired. If this dog can survive 36 years, we can change our lives too. Connor expanded the Silent Mountain Memorial. He added a training center, canine and veteran programs. 100 veterans came each year. They met dogs, received PTSD treatment. Their lives changed. Emma, Connor's daughter, who wasn't his daughter. Wait, no. Connor had no family. But now he did. Lisa Mitchell visited often. She brought her son, 16 years old, Jake. Jake wanted to be a SEAL, like his grandfather. Connor mentored Jake, told him about SEAL training. Jake, your grandfather, James Mitchell, was a hero. You carry his legacy. But remember, heroism isn't just about fighting. Sometimes it's about doing the right thing, telling the truth, forgiving. Those are heroism too. Jake listened. He learned. 2 years later, Jake joined SEAL training. He succeeded. He graduated. For his first mission, he called Lisa Connor first. Connor, Jake graduated. He's a SEAL now. My dad would be proud. Connor's eyes welled up. I'm proud. Jake is a wonderful young man, and he honors James' legacy. One night, Connor, Ranger, and Ghost sat in the mountains, outside the cabin. Let's end the story here for now. But if you are curious about the continuation of the video, write part 2 in the comments and listen to that mysterious ending. Subscribe to the channel and like the video.